Hey Gemini, what's up gang? Hope everybody is well. We're going to go ahead and look into what is next on your path. If that's something that interests you, go ahead and stick around. Gemini, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Jessica. Please take a look at my description box. That will have any information that you need to know. And yes, this is a Gemini channel. However, if you vibe, you tribe. So go ahead and make yourself comfortable. Gemini, if you're returning, welcome back. I hope that you're well. Hope you're taking care of yourself. I do hope that you're doing what's best for you, boo. Thank you for all the love, all the support. Gemini, thank you for all the good vibes. It really does mean the world, okay? Let's go ahead and just jump right into this. So first of all, we have the stormy weather that came out. And I do feel like what Spirit wants you to know, what's next on your path is you're moving out of this stormy energy. You're moving out of a period where there's been a dark cloud that has possibly been following you, or you've been insecure, you've been unsure about something, and I do feel like you've had a lot of faith and you've surrendered yourself to the situation, right? Because when I see storms, I do often think about buffalo energy, and it makes me feel like you're going to make it on the other side of this, right? You realize that storms don't last forever, basically. That if you can just be strong and secure, you can make it to the other side of whatever this is. And so, yeah, I do feel like there's been some epiphanies, some realizations, there's been some tough truths or something. But whatever the storm was, it was very medicinal because it's helped you gather a sense of strength and like reverence for yourself that nobody can shake. Nothing can shake this, right? So I do feel like whatever this storm is, it's on the way out, but we will see, okay? Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. What's next on Gemini's path, please, Spirit? What is next on Gemini's path? What can Gemini expect next on their path? We have a prayer answered. Isn't that crazy how I said buffalo energy, and then there is the mighty buffalo, okay? I really do think that buffaloes might be one of my totems because they just show up a lot. Card number 12, reducing to 3. You're manifesting, right? You've manifested something through prayers, affirmations, visualizations. Maybe you've done some kind of chanting or meditation. Maybe you dream, or maybe you speak things into existence. Whatever this is, some manifestation that you have prayed for, that you've hoped for, Gemini, it's coming to pass. And it has been a lot of hard work or a long time coming here with this energy, okay? So that's what you can expect next, a prayer to be answered. It's interesting too because the way that there's the lines and the palms, it's just giving like palm reading. Maybe some of you guys do read palms or you've had your palm read or something, but it's giving a sense of destiny, like something was written in the stars, or something was very meant to be, and you needed to get through some kind of hardship, or you needed to learn some kind of lesson or go through some kind of struggle in order to truly appreciate something or even earn this in your life, right? I'm hearing nothing in life is free. So you did pay for something, regardless of what it seems like. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the energy I'm getting. We have Just Trust, card number 32, reducing to 5, and 5s talk about challenges, change, conflict, and I do feel like you've been through a dark period here. We see the mole emerging from the darkness, and we see the rainbows, which gives a sense of like hope and, faith and renewal. And, the thing about moles, they're super cute, but they're blind a little bit, right? Like they're used to navigating under the ground. And so you've been kind of feeling your way through a situation, not really having a lot of clarity or foresight of how something's going to go, but you just had to have trust and have faith that this was going to work out. And I feel like that's exactly what you're about to see coming up on your path. It's something that you had trust in, something that you had faith in. It's going to come, or it's going to happen the way that you've prayed for. That's what I'm getting here. We have No Expectations, card number 22, which reduces to 4. So we're seeing a sequence of events moving forward. We have 3, we have 4. 222 could be significant. 121, 212, 12, or 3s or 4s could definitely be significant here. We have No Expectations, and we have the key, right? And I was literally about to say, that's so funny. I was literally about to say the key in this deck. There's a card with a key and a little crow, and it's talking about your fear. So that's so interesting that it's actually on the bottom of the deck, guys, okay? I love when that kind of stuff happens in readings. It's just amazing. But anyways, yeah, there is a key here that's going to open a door, and the key could be linked to your fear. Maybe that's what the stormy energy is. Maybe that's the major challenge that you're overcoming with the buffalo. You have to face your fears in some kind of sense, okay? Interesting, more rainbow energy talking about hope or faith or a promise that possibly Spirit has made for you. The Black Panther energy gives me like intimidation, fear, right? There's something that might seem very scary. It's hard to go through this door. It's hard to open this door. We don't know what's on the other side of it. We don't know how something's going to turn out. And for some of you, this could be talking about maybe, opening yourself up to other people or to the world, showing up in a very authentic way, daring to go after your dreams, daring to go after your passions or your desires. It can be very scary, especially if something doesn't work out the way that we want it to. We can feel rejected, or we can feel like we wasted our time, or there's a sense of embarrassment or shame. But Spirit is saying that you should go through this door anyways, because this is going to actually help answer this prayer that you've had. Okay? So very interesting. The key to opening this door is to face your fear. And you have this. You have the key to open the door. It's giving like magician energy, like you have everything that you need to be able to complete this task. You have everything inside of you. Look at this. Wow. I'm sorry, but these cards are like, as I'm saying stuff, I'm seeing the cards and it's very synchronistic. It's in you. Yes, you have what you need to open this door or to walk into this. But what Spirit is also saying here is what's next on your path is there's an energy of no expectations here. Not putting expectations on something, not being attached to the results or the outcome of something. Knowing that when we walk through this door, perhaps we don't know what's going to happen, and we have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with the unknown. But also when we put less expectations on something, we're freeing ourselves up to manifest something that is actually in alignment for us. Because that can be a problem sometimes with manifestation, which I am looking at prayer kind of like a manifestation in a sense. Sometimes we can be so hell-bent on having a certain person, a certain path, a certain career, a certain thing that we block ourselves off, we close ourselves off, And if we could just be open-minded and allow ourselves to receive what Spirit wants for us, which is actually in turn what our higher self wants for us too, we'll find that we're given things that maybe we didn't know would be okay for us, but actually are perfect for us. So there's something here about getting out of your own way, because maybe something's different or it invokes change in your life, and change can be scary, and allowing these things to come in, allowing yourself to walk through the door regardless. Okay. What else do we have here? What's next on Gemini's path? We have the Destiny path, card number 35. This is something that you've been working on for lifetimes, because 35 is reducing to 8, right? And for me, 8 talks about infinity. It talks about past lives. You've been working on something for a very long time. We see that echoed with the Tame and Attain, card number 28, because that talks about somebody who's very focused on their goal and they're going to achieve their goal. That's what this card represents. 28, 8, 9, 10 to the end of a cycle, 10 being the end. Yeah, you're going to achieve something in this lifetime that you haven't been able to in other lifetimes, Gemini. And I feel like it's because you're facing some kind of fear. You're learning the process of manifestation, right? And a big part of that is surrendering and not getting too caught up on the details. Sometimes we just have to have an overall vision or overall idea of what we want for ourselves, right? Like, I want to be secure. I want to be happy. I want to, have abundance, or I want to be able to do something that I love. But like, that's it. Not narrowing it down so much where it's like it's impossible to bring this manifestation in because there's so many fine details. I feel like you're conquering something within yourself here that, again, you've been working on for lifetimes. It feels like maybe just this lifetime, but it feels like it's been lifetimes. Because the king snake, we've talked about this before. This is a king snake that's on here, and the king snake eats other snakes. And so there's something here with that where you've overcome many versions of yourself, or you've done a lot of shadow work here. And I talk about it all the time. Storms can be very medicinal, right? Sometimes when we don't want to look at something or we don't want to face something, we can create energetic blockages. And the only way to remove these things are the storms or the towers that happen in life, because then we're forced to look at the unsavory. We're forced to look at the things that we don't really want to acknowledge, but we need to acknowledge. And so I feel like there's something that's happened here with that. They're also giving me how sometimes when storms come through, people will go treasure hunting off the coast. And so there could be a treasure that gets brought to the surface. Kind of like when you clean out an attic and you've been avoiding doing it because it's a big job and but then you find lots of stuff that's nostalgic or things that were missing that you didn't think you'd ever see again. And it's like pleasant little surprises. There's something there with that, but you are on a destined path and you are going to achieve something that you've been working on for a very long time. And it feels deeper than just this goal at work that I've been working on for a year. This feels like something within your soul that you've been working on. And it hasn't always been easy either, because, I mean, maybe this is a bee, but it's coming across like a wasp to me or something. And so wasps, I always feel like, you know, the hardships of life, like life stings sometimes. And maybe there's been some kind of situation that stung you several times. And you kind of had to see beyond that, especially with like this all-seeing eye type of, there's a lot of symbolism. It's making me feel like you had to look beyond something, or you had to look through something to actually see the truth of the situation. Can I get one more? I don't normally do 4, but I'm going to. Can I get one more, please, for what's next on Gemini's path? We have Shake, Release, Heal, and Move On, card number 27. Yeah, you're almost at the end of a healing cycle here. You've been carrying a lot. And again, it's not just from this lifetime. It feels like it's from many lifetimes, but you're finally releasing something here, moving forward. You're finally healing, you're letting go, you're moving on in a real way too. You know, in a way that opens you up to expansion and opens you up to growth. One of my favorite cards, Nourishment While Waiting, card number 5, talks about this little baby hawk and how it's going to, you know, have great achievements in its life. But there's a newness to the hawk still. It's not ready to fly, you know? And so while it's in its little nest, its mom brings nourishment to it. And so while you're waiting to achieve some kind of massive goal, or to get to the next step, or whatever this is talking about for you in this reading, Gemini, Spirit is saying that you have been nourishing yourself, you've been healing yourself, you've been working on yourself. And that's why healing work is so important, you know, because you're not going to be ready for the blessings or for the manifestation that you want to bring into your life if you're still energetically processing things that went wrong in the past, or things that hurt you in the past, right? It feels like something very significant happened with this last full moon. I know it was a full moon in Aries and it was a super moon. But for me personally, I had a very significant moment during that full moon. It opened my heart up. It was just by myself with Spirit, but it was something that cracked my heart open to where I found myself feeling more like warm and loving and receptive of love, receptive of affection from other people. Not being so cold and distant and closed off and angry anymore. Like there's something that shifted within my own personal energy during that full moon. I find myself reading romance things and thinking about love, and, you know, reading poetry and writing poetry and feeling really connected to my heart space. And there's something that's very similar like this that's happening for you, Gemini. It might not be your heart chakra like it was for me, but it could be something else. It could be your root chakra. It could be, you know, your sense of personal power. It could be your confidence. It could be your own creativity and allowing yourself to be creative. It could be your third eye and your spirituality and opening yourself up to your intuition. But whatever it is, it's like something's being cracked open, and it feels like one of the chakras. And it feels like whatever this is for a reason, because, you know, you can't put yourself out there in the world and express your talents and your gifts and your skills if you're shy and you don't really believe in them, or you're insecure about them, right? You can't stand up for yourself and take the next step and do something brave if you don't have a sense of personal power. You can't have a person come towards you that wants to love you and wants to give you affection if you're closed off towards it. So Spirit's been almost getting you ready. They're showing me a meat being tenderized. So I feel like you've been getting tenderized, Gemini, getting prepared. Nourishment while waiting. Okay. Interesting energies, guys. Interesting. I don't know, y'all. I think I just want to do some oracle. I don't really think I want to. Yeah, I think I want to just do oracle. I don't think I want to necessarily look into tarot. Let's get some more out here. What's next on Gemini's path, please? What can Gemini expect next on their path? Okay, what can Gemini expect next on their path, please? We have a Lady Nada, Heart Awakening. Awaken to acceptance and divine love. Give and receive in balance. So there's something that's awakening within you. There's something that's blooming within you, Gemini, and you are open to equal give and take, right? you're ready to receive, but you're also ready to give in certain situations. Okay. And so there could be something here where you are feeling more connected to your divine purpose or your divine plan as well. It's making me feel like you feel in your heart that there's something that you're meant to do or achieve while you're here. We see that anyways with the destined path and no expectations. And perhaps you were a little closed off to this. Maybe you needed to heal, or maybe there was some fear that was involved. But I do feel like you're awakening, right? Yes, charity, prayer, and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. We see that with the prayers. You've asked for something, Gemini, and maybe you're receiving it in a way that you weren't expecting. Or maybe Spirit said, okay, I can give that to you. I can bring that into your life, but you're going to need this. You're going to need to do this first, right? You're going to need to heal this first, or let go of this first, or look at this first, or overcome this first, whatever it is. And this is happening. I'm getting a very strong, like, blooming energy here. And there's something significant about roses. Roses could be very significant for some of you guys. Also, charity. I feel like there's something here, Gemini, where you do want to be of service, or you are meant to be of service to the world, to others. And any act of healing that you're giving yourself is in turn helping heal the planet, really. What else is coming for Gemini? Oh, hold on. Something went flying. Okay, I'm back. This is the one that went flying. Cernus. Life force. Express your driving passion. Sensual and sexual powers are increased. Sexual energy for me in divination talks about an energy exchange, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with another person. However, it could, but you know, we're getting a very general message today. I'm not going to zoom in on details too much because it's going to be different for everybody. So do take this as it resonates. If some of you feel like your heart has been awakened to somebody and that you are starting to feel more passion and feeling like you want to give more of yourself to somebody, then that would make sense. But this really feels like whatever your driving passion is, whatever you feel passionate about, which we were just talking about that. We were just talking about purpose and your sense of duty that you feel on this planet. Okay. It could be connected to nature for sure, or it could be connected to living a more natural life, or getting away from the hustle bustle, getting away from the crowd, going your own way, doing something in your own authentic way. This individual here, I don't know much about him, but he comes across very eccentric to me, very different, walking to the beat of his own drum, not really worrying about what other people feel about him and his life choices. He follows his desires. There's also a very fun, energetic energy about him, maybe a little mischievous too. So perhaps you're, connecting with your inner child a little bit more moving forward on your path of finding the joy in life, the excitement, the adventure in life again. Yeah. Okay. What else do we have here for Gemini? What's happening on their path moving forward? There's something about your intuition too with this crescent moon, like following your intuition. Actually, she kind of has a little bit. She has pearls, but it looks like it's in the form of a crescent moon. So maybe you will be given some kind of intuitive downloads from Spirit. Okay. Maybe there's going to be some kind of like pearls of wisdom that you're given. What else do we have here? What's happening next on Gemini's path moving forward? What's happening next? We have the Myram, sacred vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. Interesting, Gemini, because there's two little individuals here and you are the sign of the twins. So perhaps you are forgiving yourself here. Also, more roses and lilies. Lilies could be significant. Flowers in general could be significant. It's interesting because we have shake, release, heal, and move on. And part of doing that is a sense of forgiveness, either forgiving yourself or forgiving others. Now, forgiveness doesn't mean that we're condoning another person's actions or we're taking the guilt off of them, right? Like, because I've forgiven you, that means you don't have to feel bad about this anymore. People are going to feel however they're going to feel. And to be honest with you, even if you do give forgiveness to somebody, it doesn't necessarily mean that they ever felt bad in the beginning, right? People sometimes don't feel bad about how they've hurt you. That's just a harsh fact of life. That's why forgiveness isn't about the other person necessarily. It's about you. And so there is something that maybe you're letting go of that you've been holding on to. Maybe there's been an anger in your heart or a bitterness or a sense of rejection or guilt or shame or something here, right? There's been something that you've needed to let go of. And so Spirit is asking you to forgive so that you can heal. Forgive yourself, forgive others. See the light in all, meaning seeing that we're all on this journey together. Nobody is perfect. Nobody gets a manual. People mess up. People make mistakes. People do things that maybe, they shouldn't. Maybe you do things that maybe you shouldn't. And it doesn't mean, again, that there's no guilt or anything. But what Spirit is saying here is that you don't have to hold on to it, right? Let me be the enforcer of karma. Let me teach this person the lesson or help this person heal so they don't hurt other people in the future. You get to release yourself from this situation anymore. You don't have to carry this burden. Let me carry it for you is basically the energy that's coming through here from Spirit. Okay? There's also something about horns. So horns could be significant, but horns make me think of masculine energy for obvious reasons. So there could be something here with your masculine side or a masculine in general, perhaps. But Spirit is saying to remember that love has no boundaries, right? And we did see something about unconditional love before, but we also have heart awakening. So there's something there with that, guys. Take it as it resonates. We have Master Buddha, increased awareness, deep connection, and trust your inner voice. Spirit wants you to spend more time reflecting on your own inner voice and your own intuition and trusting yourself, giving less energy to outside sources and how people have treated you and what people have done to you. There's definitely something coming through about that. Anything else before we put this deck up? I'm not going to keep it, but anything else before we put this deck up? We have Kuan Yin, care and compassion. Choose to be love and do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. And I feel like that's something that you do want to do, right? I feel like you want to help others. You have a lot of compassion. You have a lot of care and empathy within you, Gemini. And so maybe a lot of you guys are in service, more service-related industries, or that's what you do for your job. You help people in some kind of way. You're a service to other people. It's interesting because there's something about doing what's right, offering forgiveness, releasing and moving forward. There is something here where moving forward on your path, you're letting go of something, and it's not containing you anymore, or it's not holding you back any longer. Last one from this deck, we have Mercury, which is your planet, Gemini. Open communication, get a weight off of your chest, speak up with love and be heard. Yes, there is something here. Look, divine order, Lady Portia, do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. Spirit might be asking you on your path moving forward to speak up and communicate, to get a weight off of your chest, to say what needs to be said here in a situation. You can do it with love and that you will be heard as well. Because there could be something about this with the forgiveness. Maybe there's a need of closure, or there's a need to say something, speak your truth in a sense. And whatever this is going to be very healing, because this reminds me of like the medical thing, the medical symbol. It makes me feel like this communication is going to be very healing. This could also just be you venting to yourself. It might not even have anybody else involved. This could be writing a letter or journaling something, writing something down. This might help, but it's going to be very medicinal to get this weight off of your chest or to communicate this moving forward. Somebody could even want to communicate with you moving forward, Gemini. Okay, somebody could feel like they need to communicate with you, or they need to say something to you. Let's get some more out here. What else do we have here? What's happening next on Gemini's path moving forward? What's happening next? We have Basil, prosperity, luck, and love, fast growth, positive changes, and health improves. Interesting. Some of you guys could have been praying for some kind of health to improve here. This could be something to do with your heart, maybe some aches and pains, maybe the arthritis, joint pain. I'm getting headaches. I'm getting jaw pain. Maybe something with your feet too, planter's feet. I don't know, that's coming through for somebody. There could be something here about herbs. Taking certain herbs or certain supplements could help you. But I do see overall there's fast growth and there's positive changes moving forward. There's a sense of prosperity here, for sure. You know, there's a sense of luck or love that's coming through. And you know, I don't necessarily believe in luck, but I'm not going to argue with what the card says either. And I feel like there's something here where you're surrendering something. Again, a prayer is answered here moving forward. Law of assumption, setting intentions with the seeds, new ideas, hope, open-mindedness. This is that manifestation energy I was picking up. I do feel like you're manifesting something, and moving forward, you're going to see this. You're going to see the results of this manifestation. We have Rosemary, protection, endurance, keeping the faith, remembrance, loyalty, and faithfulness. Yeah, you're being, I don't know why this is so crooked at the tips, it's so bent. Anyways, you're keeping the faith when it comes to something. Okay? You're being very loyal to your own heart here, or your own path moving forward. I also feel like you're being very protected on your path moving forward, but there's something about remembering something Like what's happening on your path next is you're remembering who you are, remembering why you're here. It's like there is an awakening or a reawakening of something within you. And this is very spiritually led. I also feel like you've shown some kind of endurance within something. We saw that with the destiny path, right? You've shown some kind of endurance, and because of this, you're seeing results. What else do we have here? Ladybugs could be very significant. Some of you guys might find a key somewhere too. You could find a key in your garden or in your closet or your drawer or something. I don't know. We have a cup of tea, patience and reassessment, breaking news, relaxation, and gossip. I do feel like there will be some communication coming towards you in the future, or there's going to be something. I'm seeing a letter, and I'm seeing, because it could be a text, but it feels like if it's a text, it's very long, but it could be a letter or it could be an email. But I'm getting like a paragraph. Like there could be something that's expressed to you, or this is you, again, writing something, communicating something to somebody or to yourself. But there does feel like there's going to be information coming through that gives you clarity, gives you the tea, right? In a sense. And I feel like you're going to need to step back and reassess this with this new information that you're given. It's like you think about something, or it gives you a new point of view, a new perspective here. Could also help forgive, you know? Help you forgive something, or help forgiveness come in. You could also be drinking more tea or just hot beverages in general. You know, it is that time of the year just to sit and have a moment and relax. What else do we have here? What's happening moving forward for Gemini? What's happening on their path moving forward? Whoa, that's a lot. We're not going to take all that. What's just one more, if possible, Spirit. One more for Gemini. What's happening on their path? Okay, dokie. Oh, wow. Okay. We have mint. Yeah, there is like lots of stuff about herbs here, right? We have basil, rosemary, mint, a cup of tea. Maybe some of y'all are going to be making some herbal tea, or you're getting into herbal tea or something. Maybe you're growing some mint or some basil in your garden, or maybe you're getting an herb garden for sure. This tea looks like it's chamomile with the little flower in there. So take it as it resonates, okay? But mint says abundance, persistence and proliferation, progress, fresh start, and awakening. Yeah, I'm seeing repeating words here, right? So I'm seeing a lot about an awakening. I'm seeing a lot about abundance. I'm seeing a lot about persistence, endurance, you know? We're getting certain themes here. I feel like you're moving forward, you're forging ahead. And because of that, you're having a fresh start or a new beginning, or you're making progress. There's also some kind of abundance coming in. We can't deny that. Mint will take over in your garden. That's why they say you should never plant it in the ground, but I don't know. I'm not an expert or anything, but that's what they say, is that you should never plant mint in the ground because it'll take over. So it's like fast abundance coming in. Proliferation also makes me feel like you're going to be recognized for something, or you're going to stand out, like you're one of a kind in something that you do, which could be part of your purpose or part of your path. Maybe you've been dedicating yourself to this for a very long time. And so because of that, you're making some kind of progress here. Let's get some more. Let's use another deck. What do we have here? What's next on Gemini's path? We have Medicine Mother. Ooh, yes. I feel like some of you guys could be into herbs, or into like, you know, like earth medicine here. Some of you guys, for sure. I'm getting like a garden witch or a green witch or a kitchen witch or something like that. It says honor your inner knowing. Yeah, what's happening moving forward is you're going to honor your inner knowing. You're going to follow your intuition. It could be a little scary. Maybe you needed to do a lot of healing to get to this place where you could finally start honoring yourself. Maybe there's, again, that communication we saw. Communication could come in that this was somebody honoring themselves, sending this communication or whatever, but it's very medicinal with the Medicine Mother. It feels like honoring yourself, following your intuition, stepping into the unknown, even though it's a little scary, it's healing. Your ancestors could definitely be pushing you for this too. Pushing you to take the next step, pushing you to follow your intuition, to trust the path, to trust yourself. The cowrie shells could be significant for somebody. They do talk about abundance. We have the arrow, surround yourself with protective energy. Yes, Spirit is saying that you are protected moving forward. And the arrow for me, it talks about forward movement. It talks about a direction, moving in a certain direction. I feel like Spirit's saying you're safe to move in a certain direction, or you will be protected on your journey here. What else do we have here for Gemini gang? What's happening in their path moving forward? What's happening next on their path, Spirit? We have the Peacekeeper. Look, Buffalo energy again. Let go of the need to be right, y'all. That's coming through for somebody. There's like there's a need to kind of like let go of the ego here, let go of the need to be right, let go of how you feel like you were hurt, allow yourself to move forward, allow yourself to heal, allow yourself to forgive and grow, whether this is other people or this is yourself. Somebody could be offering you the peace pipe, right? For some of you guys, you could smoke with somebody or have a drink with somebody or have a conversation or chill or something, and this is going to be very enlightening, is also the energy I'm getting here. There's definitely a dropping of the ego, whether this is you or somebody else here. And I feel like this is a leap of faith that somebody's taking with trust in the unknown, the Father Sky. It's like you got to trust that this is the right step or this is the right thing to do. Also, this is, for some reason, it's giving white buffalo woman. And, you know, she was a conduit that came down from the heavens to teach people about spirit and to teach people how to connect with spirit and connect with themselves. And, you know, a lot of like the tribal men found her very attractive. So they just tried to like basically disrespect her energy and just try to reduce her to sex and sleep with her. And she's like, I'm like a whole mystical, magical teacher out here. Like, I'm not here for that. But people couldn't get over their own lower level, baser instincts, right? And these lower level passions that drive them to elevate and see somebody more than just an object or more than something that's sent here for their pleasure. Like, this is somebody who's very important. This is somebody who's here to unlock something within yourself. So there could be something like that where maybe your energy was disrespected, Gemini, or maybe you disrespected somebody's energy, regardless of who did what. Spirit is saying that a lesson has been learned here and it's time to move on from it. It's time to forgive and let go. Somebody might not have been able to see you in all of your value, right? That's just a message. We have the Trader, exchange energy to create abundance. And we've seen that. That's another repeating message here in this reading. Exchanging energy. It's going to create abundance. You are meant to give something to this planet. You have a service that you're meant to provide, or a skill or a talent or a gift or something. Okay, since the messages are getting a little bit redundant, let's go ahead and close this out with the birds. What's next for Gemini on their path? Advice and additional messages, please, Spirit. What's next for Gemini on their path? Advice and additional messages. Oh, wow. Okay, we have two. I'm going to take them both. Actually, let's go ahead and give them out. What's next? Advice and additional messages. One more. Thank you. Okie dokie. So first and foremost, we have the Heron. It says, let go of convention and follow your own unique path. That's trusting and honoring your inner knowing, right? Doing what's right for you and not necessarily what makes sense for everybody else. Some of you guys might have to be brave and step out of the box of convention. But this is going to work out for you, okay? We have the Robin that came out next. New growth and potential is on the horizon, so reach out and embrace it. You're ready for something new, and it might not be very conventional. It might bring a lot of change, scary change into your life here. It might ask you to step up to the plate and do something brave or be brave, you know? But this is new potential. It's growth. It's really good energy. Okay, and then we have the Parrot that came out next. Let go of others' thoughts and opinions. It's time to embrace who you really are. There is definitely something here about a situation with somebody else. So however that resonates for you, but there is a need to kind of let go of how somebody feels about you or thinks about you, Gemini. You can't control that. You could have had the best intentions going into something, and if things went down a certain way and somebody was hurt, they might not have the best opinion of you, right? This could also be coming and circling back to this with the Heron, letting go of convention. Other people might feel like what you're doing is weird, or what you want to do is weird, or they might not get it. But that's because, you know, it's kind of like when the trumpets blow, right? I don't know why they're giving me the energy of the... What is that? I should know what that is. It's like the end of days. Whatever. I don't know. For some reason, I can't think of the word. I know it starts with like a R or whatever. Oh, it's got it right on the tip of my tongue. Literally, as soon as I paused it to think about it, I got it. The rapture. I don't know why the rapture is coming through for somebody. Maybe you're hella religious. I don't know. But I do feel like, you know, when the trumpets blow, only certain people can hear it, right? And so there could be something here where it's like Spirit's call on your life is not for everybody to hear, and it's not for everybody to understand. So when you tell people, you know, I feel like moving, or I feel like doing this, or I feel like writing a book, or I feel like going on this path, people might look at you a little crazy like, okay, but that's because that's not their call. And so we have to answer our own individual calls. We can't pretend that we didn't hear the trumpets just because somebody else around us didn't hear it, you know? And so for some of you guys, there's a really big need to kind of step away from convention, step away from the beaten path. You know, you're meant to walk your own path. You're meant to do what Spirit has set out for you, your destined path, which we see here, okay? We have the dove, feel and allow a deeper sense of peace to fill you now. This is of a divine quality. This is literally one of my forgiveness cards. So it's so interesting that this came out because this is a big energy over here, you know, of forgiving and letting go and maybe offering, you know, an olive branch here with the peacekeeper, letting go of the need to be right, the dove, right? But basically that card is also saying that when drama or chaos is around you, you don't have to fall prey to it. You can still find peace, right? It's a divine quality to be the calm in the storm. It's a divine quality to be the buffalo that sees that there's something on the other side of this storm. So I'm not going to get caught up in the drama of the storm. I'm going to run through it. That's a divine quality. It's divine wisdom, right? We have the eagle. You are learning all aspects of spiritual connection and reaching new heights. It's very interesting too, because the body of the eagle and the parrot are quite similar. There's differences, obviously, but they're quite similar. And so Gemini, maybe there's been people in your life that have shown up in ways that you thought that they were something other than they were. And maybe you're learning about that. You're learning to have stronger boundaries, or you're learning to follow your heart, or you're learning to look beyond appearances or the surface level and get to the heart of the situation. But what Spirit is saying is that you've learned a lot and you're reaching new heights. You're soaring above what you were before because of all this growth and this healing that you've done, okay? Interesting, guys, all right? So that has been your reading. I do hope it helps, hope it resonates, hope it does something, and I will see y'all on the next one. Bye.